Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Dialogue. I'm Taimur Shamil. Today we are going to discuss about different stories. Pakistan's 22nd Prime Minister has taken oath today. Imran Khan is the new Prime Minister in Pakistan, and Pakistan is hopeful for a bright future. Pakistan is a resilient nation, which is today celebrating a new Prime Minister in the office. We're going to discuss about Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Mr. Khan's journey as a Prime Minister, the politics in Pakistan. But before that, a big news for today is that the renowned senior diplomat, Nobel Prize winner for peace, Mr. Kofi Annan, passed away today at the age of 80 after a short illness. And Mr. Kofi Annan is known as a person who was actively involved in humanitarian work. He was also the Secretary General of United Nations twice. And Kofi Annan is known as a person who has been working for the betterment of mankind, betterment of the people at the grassroots level who were in need. To discuss this, Mr. Kofi Annan's death and paying tribute to him, we have Mr. Nail Bone. He's the resident coordinator and humanitarian coordinator for United Nations in Pakistan. Welcome to the show, Mr. Nail Bone.
It's good to be on the show. Thank you for paying tribute to Kofi Annan.
Mr. Nail Bone, can you hear me?
I can hear you a little bit quiet, but I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. Talking about Mr. Kofi Annan, he passed away today, a renowned senior diplomat, a person who was working for the betterment of the people, 2 times the Secretary General of United Nations. On his death, how do you see his works and his legacy?
Well, I think Kofi Annan very much epitomized what the UN is about. I mean, he lived the values of the UN. He cared about people. He was compassionate. He was truly a world citizen. He gave his life for building peace. He himself was not a Secretary General who was brought in from outside. He was one who actually worked his way up through the ranks. So he knew on the ground the troubles people face. He knew on the ground what the UN could do. He knew what the limitations were. So he was very committed, in fact, to breaking those limitations. He tried to push a UN reform, a very ambitious one. Elements of it went through. Other elements, such as Security Council reform, he didn't manage to get through. But at the same time, I mean, his commitment didn't just stop when he ended being Secretary General. He also founded the Elders, which brought together people such as Nelson Mandela and Mary Robinson, experienced statespeople to solve issues. And he also founded the Kofi Annan Foundation, which he was working on till very, very recently. So he committed his life really for what the UN stands about. Which
Right. And what do you think? What kind of standards has Mr. Kofi Annan set for the people who are working in the humanitarian sector, in the development sector, for education and peace? Mr. Kofi Annan setting as standards. How do you see that?
Well, he set the standard. I mean, the current Secretary General called him a global force for good, essentially. What was the exact word? A guiding force for good. Because by his own commitment, by his honesty, and by his willing to stick his own neck out, he actually provided a model for people like myself. And I know if there's anyone I would try to model myself on, if somewhat unsuccessfully, it would be him. And I think that applies to a lot of other of my colleagues. There's a lot of affection and respect for him.
Right. And talking about Pakistan and the UN activities in Pakistan, since you yourself, you are working in Pakistan, you are the coordinator for United Nations. Mr. Kofi Annan's legacy, you are working yourself in Pakistan and the development, United Nations, how do you see the whole mechanism and also the work at the grassroots level of UN?
Yeah, well, I think one of the most important roles of the United Nations is to stand side by side with countries when they face a crisis. And when the earthquake hit Pakistan in 2005 and tens of thousands of people died, I mean, Kofi Annan was leading the UN at that time, and he came here. He mobilized the United Nations. He mobilized the international community to work under the leadership of the Pakistan government. And despite all the tragedy that happened there, despite problems people still face, when we look around the world at what disasters were responded to well and where there was international cooperation. That particular earthquake is used as one of the best examples of responding to people's needs and international cooperation working. I think that was partly because he took the United Nations in leading that.
Mr. Neil Burnett, thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time. That was Mr. Neil Burnett with us. He is the resident coordinator and humanitarian coordinator, United Nations in Pakistan. We are going to take a break, and after the break, we are going to discuss about the 22nd Prime Minister of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, his 22 years of struggle, and the future of Pakistani politics and also the foreign policy. After this break, stay with us.
Save water for your future generation, environment, plants, animals for a healthy and enjoyable life on this planet.
Welcome back. Today, the 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Imran Khan, took oath, and Mr. Imran Khan, the chairman of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, is the new Prime Minister of Pakistan. Mr. Imran Khan is a case study for a lot of people, for the political pundits as well. A person with no political background, a cricketer who played cricket well, has become, many people think, the new captain of Pakistan. But the match has just started, and he has to win this match as well. Mr. Imran Khan won the World Cup. He became the captain, and people think now that he has to win the World Cup for Pakistan in the international arena. The match has just started. The things have just started. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is very optimistic, but at the same time, there are other political parties, the opposition as well, a strong opposition that we will be expecting in the future. We're going to discuss about all this with our special guest in the studios. Our first guest is Mr. Zahid Gashkori, a renowned senior journalist and a political commentator. Welcome to the show, Mr. Gashkori. Our second guest is Mr. Liaquat Shahwani, a renowned political commentator and an expert on Pakistani politics. Welcome to the show, Mr. Shahwani. Mr. Gashkori, starting with today's oath-taking, Mr. Imran Khan was wearing Sherwani, black Sherwani. He came to the presidency. He was confident, but at the same time, we could see that there were a lot of people who were emotional as well. Sentimental, we saw some sentimental, emotional scenes as well. Mr. Imran Khan too. The Prime Minister, I would say. The Prime Minister was himself, we could see that he was charged up. But at today's oath-taking, the future of Pakistani politics, how do you see it? But most importantly, the Prime Minister Imran Khan, how do you see it?
I would just congratulate the new Prime Minister, the 22nd one for the state, and I just would wish him a very good luck, but he carries a huge baggage, a lot of expectation by the people of Pakistan. He has been promising. There's a lot of challenges ahead for him, but the most important thing, the countdown started from today. It started now. And so for my information is that he is going to address the nation tomorrow, and I'm sure that he would be putting his 100-day promise plan before the nation, and what exactly he put it in his election campaign, that what Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, if it comes to power, and right now it's in power, even they are going to form government tomorrow in Punjab province, KPK also in their hand again, and then their partner in Balochistan. So, but important thing is that the number game, this is very vital for the government to go for stronger legislation to bring revolutionary changes in the state. It seems to be very difficult, almost a challenging task for the government.
Rightly said, because many people share this sentiment, this idea with you. I would put this question to Mr. Shahwani, that this 100 days challenge, many times politicians make some statements that are for the political consumption, for the people, that's it. But is it doable to bring some tangible change, some real change in 100 days? Or do you think, Mr. Shahwani, that this would be something cosmetic, perhaps, if we, let's say, because people are asking for it, give them some kind of cosmetic change or something like that? Or do you think that there can be some real change in 100 days? And if that can be, what kind of change can be, that can be in 100 days?
Well, cosmetic in our country, in our society, and real change in Western countries. This idea of 100 days basically coming from Western countries. And in 100 days, they try to implement their ideas. They draw a new list of priorities, and they have a direction. But in our country, actually, we will be very much lucky if in next 100 days we will be observing and seeing a lot of changes, which I don't see, because economically, look at your country. We are in the worst economical crisis of our history. The institutions are not working properly. The burden of previous governments, the political culture which has developed in this country, and at the same time, very narrow margin majority on the disposal of very small coalition partners. So these all are challenges, but don't we forget that Imran Khan accepted these all challenges himself. We never asked him to provide us with 100 million jobs. Right. We never asked him to provide us with 5 million homes. We never asked him to rescue us from this economical crisis. He himself, he accepted the challenges, he gave hope to the people, he had a dream which came true. Now it is the time Imran Khan which has given dream to the people of Pakistan. So we are looking, but we should be hopeful. And nevertheless, these young parliaments are not very unique to the Pakistan. Look at the Western countries. Today, out of 27 European Union countries, 24 countries are experiencing young parliaments and coalition governments. Overall, 34 European countries are observing it, 13 Latin American countries, 17 Asian countries, including India.
Right.
So these, if we observe, there are young parliaments, there are coalition governments. In Finland, in 1917, when they got their independence, the first government came, coalition government, and today, after a century, still there is a coalition government. Netherlands in 1917, they experienced coalition government. After 100 years today,
right,
there is coalition government. I think all Imran Khan needs is will. If he has a will, the previous in previous term, NAB has done a lot. Main thing is the corruption.
Right.
So he, as NAB is working, number of cases are pending. The only thing Imran Khan has to do to show will is cabinet should be a cabinet of transparent people.
And that's what he said during his speech yesterday. He said that accountability was the main point that he was talking about, and he said that he would bring that looted money back. That's what these were the words. We're going to come back to this point, but this is a very important point that Mr. Ghoskhori, that Mr. Shahwani has raised up. And the point is that we compare ourselves with the economies that are developed, right? In Europe, for that matter, we're talking about 100 days challenge, where institutions are already working, they're all set. But here in Pakistan, when we talk about 100 days, we also have to see what Mr. Shahwani is saying. we need to bring reforms at the grassroots level, we have to set the institutions right, their direction right, and then perhaps we can talk about the change that we want to bring in. But ultimately, Mr. Imran Khan, Prime Minister Imran Khan, he made the promises and he has to fulfill the promises now.
Of course, every political leader makes promises. No doubt that it's a tradition and style of Pakistan politics. It's a developing. We are a developing nation. I understand that, but the most important task now for Imran Khan after 22-year-long struggle. Our first task was just to choose leaders for the provinces. Even it seemed that even the new nominee for Punjab province as Chief Minister seemed to be a controversial character at this stage, and he was struggling to choose a comparatively an excellent character or the member in provincial assembly who could lead the province, because you know that Punjab province, to lead Punjab province is a very challenging task. It controls the center, it's a real power corridor, and the province which is in number games is neck to neck. Even PMLN is the leading party over there. So I can count 4 things, very vital things. The number one promise Imran Khan put it at top of its agenda is that he be bringing looted money back to Pakistan. This is a huge task because the investigators, Federal Investigation Agency, State Bank of Pakistan, Finance Ministry, State Bank, and many other institutions suggest that in their finding that $350 billion have been stashed abroad by violating national laws. So it's a huge task because Pakistan has now an agreement with the different countries to grab information like UK, like Switzerland, and around 80 more countries. The task is that first to trace these assets abroad, like
Right.
Dubai properties, foreign accounts, and we have no agreement with different countries. Number one task. Challenging task, serious effort could happen, and I believe that Imran Khan is a team leader, he can do it. But the result we may yield after 1.5 years or 2 years. The second point is Pakistan economy facing very serious challenge, and we are supposed to go for bailout, IMF,
Right.
and we are hearing that
Asian Development
Asian
Bank for
Development
that
Bank
maybe, and some of our powerful friends might, give us some loan and we can work on it.
like Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia and China perhaps, but we'll talk about the economy in a while. Before that, we just mentioned about the accountability. Many people, Mr. Shahwani, are of the view that if there would be accountability, the accountability should be across the board for everyone. And few MNAs also this time made this point yesterday in the National Assembly, that the accountability should be across the board for all the people who have been looting, let's say, money, who have been corrupt. And it shouldn't be just political victimization. It should be accountability and transparency. Working on this issue, do you think that this would be an easy task for the government, for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, for Imran Khan, Prime Minister?
I think nothing would be easy. If the accountability is not across the board, it turns as a political victimization. And this political victimization never benefits the people of Pakistan. It has been happening in history. And today, if it is not across the board, same is going to be happen. In Panama, 435 people names are there. They all should be brought to the justice. In Paradise Leaks, Shaukat Aziz's name is there. You should be brought to the justice.
Right.
And but this is the duty of NAB. NAB has to play its neutral role. NAB have to be very vibrant. And we have observed and seen a lot of activism from NAB. And who might have thought that the Prime Minister of Pakistan, sitting Prime Minister of Pakistan, would be behind the bar in corruption charges. Now look, in Adiala jail, former Prime Minister is facing his destiny there. And Mia Manshan's name is there. Asif Ali Zardari took bail today from Islamabad High Court. Who could have thought it would be possible. So I think we are moving towards right direction. But the main question which people of Pakistan ask, that you have arrested a number of people, they have embezzled the money, but how to retrieve the money? If you are not retrieving the money, so it means our country and we are not benefiting from these the people they are behind the bar from
Right.
these cases, from these convictions. So we are going to get nothing. So as Mr. Gishkori said one point, that $350 billion has been trashed in different countries, and there is a law, Swiss Act, there is Swiss Act, Restitution of Illicit Asset Act 2010, which paves the way for the countries, their money has been embezzled and trashed in their country.
Right.
And benefiting from that, Nigeria has retrieved $794 million. Philippines has retrieved $1 billion. Number of countries working on that. So this is the main challenge for the incumbent government of Imran Khan. How would he be able to retrieve the money from these countries and
Right.
bring it back to the national exchequer?
Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Mr. Gishkori and Prime Minister Imran Khan in the past, they have been very critical of the infrastructure or the way PMLN approached the development idea. They were critical of the infrastructure, though they also started the bus service back in Peshawar as well. But what would matter the most is at the grassroots level is education and health and infrastructure. Do you think that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Prime Minister Imran Khan, they have a strong plan for the institutional reforms at the grassroots level? How would they bring in this change that can benefit the people at the grassroots level?
Actually, the problem is Imran Khan is still searching for the credible team in the center and then in the province. In KPK, somehow they delivered well, at least in two departments, the police, that's an excellent reform, and the most affected and terror-hit province in the country. We have been debating about these issues as well, and then the education sector and health sector as well somehow, and they can continue from that stage to the upside in KPK, and then they can adopt in Punjab, but it's very difficult, a daunting challenge for the party.
So what's the difficulty?
To bring these reforms in Punjab province.
What is the difficulty? So when you talk about difficulty, what do you mean? Can you elaborate difficulty?
Yes, the difficulty is that in Punjab, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf has still to show their strong team. Tomorrow,
The new
maybe
chief minister, let's say,
chief minister,
that they have nominated.
if the nominated comes out, he belongs to Dera Ghazi Khan. Perhaps you know that Dera Ghazi Khan has been a very rich district or division where the chief minister first and now the second time, before this the Khosa family and the former president of Pakistan. So it's but change never witnessed by anybody over there in South Punjab. But this time political dynamics after PTI comes into power, country can witness. Number one, that Senate chairman is from Balochistan, speaker for the first time in the National Assembly from KPK,
Right.
and the deputy speaker also from Balochistan, and then chief minister from South Punjab, and deputy speaker from also South Punjab.
These are very good symbols, very good
Very
symbols.
good symbol.
But the issue is performance. Talking
Performance.
about performance, do you think that the upcoming or the chief minister nominated from by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or PTI for that matter, they have good numbers in Punjab. How would they perform in Punjab? What kind of reforms do we need in Punjab? They have, you said that they have shown KPK, but we need to see that in Punjab and in the federal for that matter. After I think 1986, Islamabad doesn't have a decent government-run hospital. We need hospitals in Islamabad. We need hospitals in Punjab for that matter, in remote areas of Punjab and southern Punjab. Mr. Shahwani.
Well, you are right. The main challenge, particularly in Punjab, would be there had been a very strong network of bureaucrats, which we saw when Achima was arrested. Number of DMG bureaucrats, they went to the protest and they had sit in, and first time we observed that bureaucrats had become trade unionists. And Fawad Assam Fawad, when he was arrested, so number of bureaucrats were supporting them that time, even today. So there is a strong mafia network, the network of contractors, the network of patwaris.
But certainly not all of them.
So
not all
it
of
would
them,
not
but
be easy. And same time, the chief minister is a chief minister, which first time he has become MPA and is now becoming a chief minister. So I think it would be sandwich between two giants. Governor Sarwar Chaudhary is an experienced politician, is the governor, and the speaker is Chaudhary Parvez Alai, had been chief minister and speaker of Punjab Assembly. So the new chief minister would be sandwich, and he would be working, executing his entire duties on the direction and disposal of these two guys, as it happened when President Zardari, after April 2010, when he gave off his all authorities in 18th Amendment. Nonetheless, Prime Minister Pakistan Yusuf Raza Gilani was at his disposal. He was the president.
Right.
In real terms, constitutionally, he was not enjoying a lot of power, but he was exercising power because he was a dominant personality as the president. Same is going to be happened this time, which I think I can predict that the same is going to be happened with the new chief minister. So let's see. But again, we all have been very strong, envies and ambassadors of the change. We have always been in the hope and struggle to bring new blood in the parliament, the old stalwarts, the old people. They're veterans, but we don't
So
need.
maybe
we
young
need
people
change.
can introduce.
So there is a change. Let's see.
Right.
Give them opportunity. Let's see what happens.
You just talked about young people. Talking about opposition, Mr. Kashkori. Yesterday we also saw. Today we saw the oath taking, but yesterday in the parliament, Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, Pakistan People's Party, a young person, first time MNA in the National Assembly. How do you see the role of opposition in future, and a strong opposition for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf?
Absolutely it is, but it stand divided at that time. You know that Bilawal was pretty impressive. Bilawal stole the show yesterday, but today I think the Indian cricketer Najwa Singh Sidhu hugging Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, he stole the show. So that's in a lighter note. But interesting thing is, this time 41% member National Assembly are very new faces. They came to National Assembly for the first time. They never been a member of National Assembly. And then, interestingly, when it comes to comparative, if we just look into as a comparative way, in the previous National Assembly from 2013 to 18, 119 member National Assembly means 57% faces are no longer a part of this current National Assembly which took oath last week.
No, that's interesting. The numbers are very interesting. 57% are
Yes.
no more there in this assembly.
In this assembly.
Who were there in the previous
Yes,
assembly, right?
and the 67 member National Assembly belong to PTI. It means that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf brought new faces, and look at the provinces like 47 from Punjab, 18 from Sindh, because I just did study comparatively. But new faces, would they and can they bring change, to change policies, just to stand by institutions? It's a big challenge for PTI because a lot of expectations and promises as well. I don't see that I would give either margin to this government to spend at least 1.5 years to just make an outline, start working on all these promises and projects, and they can do that if they are being given 5 long years. But you talked about opposition. Opposition has a strong number, 153 MNAs. from two parties only,
Yeah.
like PPP and PMLN. But the problem is the challenging task of accountability for Imran Khan as a new Prime Minister is first how accountability is going with the Sharif family, because accountability started in Pakistan after Panama Papers revelations in 2016 from top, and now this government is supposed to bring down to the toe.
Right. So you talked about these numbers, very interesting numbers that you said. 41% are the new people, 57% of the people aren't there, who were there in the previous government in the National Assembly, are not there in this new National Assembly. Mr. Shahwani, many people are of the view that Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, Mr. Imran Khan, Prime Minister Imran Khan, they have been bringing in and introducing new trends in Pakistani politics. A cricketer turned politician, became a prime minister, a philanthropist, started a cancer hospital, also a university, and in the political arena, he is introducing these new faces. So through and through, we see that Prime Minister Imran Khan has most sort of been a winner. Do you think that he can be a winner in the political struggle that now we are looking at, the political reforms and also the cultural reforms, perhaps, the institutional reforms in the future?
Well, Imran Khan has proven to be a great achiever. In his cricket career, he was a great achiever. He was a celebrity. As a chief architect of the idea of Shaukat Khan Hospital, he did that. And it's not a new phenomenon that a cricketer has turned to a politician or a prime minister of in any country. Ronald Reagan was a film actor, but he became very successful president of America.
First cricketer in the world to become a prime minister.
Yes.
So that not maybe a celebrity, but a cricketer.
A cricketer, and this is true. Also, we can put it in this way: is the only professional after retirement became a successful politician. Otherwise, look at the Iftikhar Chaudhry was the Chief Justice of Pakistan, and he was very much popular than Imran Khan in lawyers' movement. But after retirement, he came into the politics.
But they took retirement later. He took retirement in his 40s, so he had more time, obviously. Right.
Number of retired journalists, Parvez Musharraf. He was the Chief Executive and President of Pakistan after retirement. He's nowhere.
Right.
He's not a successful politician. Even he cannot win a seat of provincial assembly on his own. So this is the charisma, this is the quality of Imran Khan, and we should be giving him opportunity, giving him the time. We should support him. That is the agent of change. If he is not going to deliver, so again Imran Khan should know his fate will be very different from the fate of People's Party or PMLN. His party will be exterminated. Today, People's Party, after 5 decades, they are again surviving despite their incapacity, despite their corruption, because again they go to the people and they refer the tomb of Bhutto martyrs.
Dynastic politics.
Dynastic politics. Again, they mobilize the people and Jalis get vote. PMLN. Their MPs, the leaders, go to the people and they refer to the motorway and metro. Again, people get involved with their politics, get mobilized. So if Imran Khan is failed, then PTI is completely failed and everything is finished.
This is a very interesting point, Mr. Kashkori, that making Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf a strong political party in comparison with Pakistan People's Party and PMLN, because these are two big political parties which have been there for the last 2 decades.
After 1985.
Yeah, 1985, for the last 2-3 decades. So Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is a nascent political party, is a new political party. Making it a strong political party too would be a big task for Mr. Imran Khan, because at the moment, PTI is not a dynastic political party, not doing dynastic politics at the moment, at least not the head, not the chairman. But at the same time, perhaps this is also, many people think, a weakness for Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, because there's just one leader at the moment, Mr. Imran Khan, and maybe they need to bring in more leaders in Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Do you think that would be doable, or how would PTI go about it?
This is a very interesting question, because PTI just surround around only with Imran Khan. In case you set aside Imran Khan aside, who would be leading the party, who would be running affair, everything. This has been a dilemma for Pakistan democracy or political project in the country. Look at that Bilawal Bhutto also come up with this. Asif Zardari hijacked the party after Benazir assassination, and then even though Sharif family know that they are going to face defeat in National Assembly, they brought their own candidate as Prime
As the
Minister in
Prime-
chief.
yeah.
And then
Mr. Shehbaz
even
Sharif, right.
exactly, they pretty much in knowledge that they are going to lose in Punjab, but here goes his son only. Why not you? Why not from a person from Tausa or from your
Somewhere
area,
else, yeah.
Bihari
Yeah.
or Multan? Because they understand that they are going to lose this. But only faces who are representing the party, as we were talking about that the politics in the family. And interestingly, this is very unfortunate that unreserved seat, it's a very dilemma. Imran Khan talked about this in August 2012 that he is against unreserved seat. Women should come up in the parliament by contesting election directly, and the important thing is there should be a legislation. Political parties should allocate seats to women 20% or 25%. They must be bound. They must be bound to allocate women in different constituencies so that they can contest election and directly come to the parliament. And all reserved seats are just being kept and hijacked and possessed by kith and kins of top leadership of the party. PTI is not exception. It happens a lot in PMLN even.
Right.
You know that 7 to 8 member parliament this time from one family. This is all on reserve seat.
Talking about families and dynastic politics, Mr. Gashkori, we also have to see the different interest groups within PTI as well, in Punjab, in KPK, in other parts of the country. And these interest groups are also going to have their own space in Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. Running a political party successfully in the next 5 years, performing, also managing the ministries. The breaking is just coming in, the breaking news that Prime Minister Imran Khan has approved 20 members cabinet, which will be taking oath on Monday. So these 20 members, these 20 people, his cabinet would be certainly working on all these things. How do you see the interest groups within Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and the 20-member cabinet in the future?
Well, unfortunately, in our country, political leaders have always tried to promote dynasties, but not legacies. Imran Khan is going to, it's up to him. He's going to provide the people with legacy or dynasties. Let's see what the future says. In 1970s, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, he brought a new trend and surge in politics, and he became a legend. But what happened? His legacy was again turned into dynasty, and that dynasty still continues. So this dynastic politics has brought disaster for Sharif family. Look, the Shehbaz Sharif as a leader is a failure. On 13 July, he failed to mobilize his own workers. He failed to receive his brother on airport. If he was not appointed as the party president, any other was appointed, so you would see the difference. So he failed because, unfortunately, we promote dynasties, not the legacies. Second part of the question, the cabinet, after 18th Amendment, the federal government is bound to appoint only 49 ministers and advisors. So again, almost 50, that's a huge number. Because every minister has got his expenses, a lot of facilities, privileges. So that is burden on national exchequer. 20-25% are quite enough, and entire provinces should be accommodated. As look, first time I have observed that Central Assembly has become National Assembly. Central government has turned into true federal government. Entire provinces, regions, areas, gender, each and every, even minority. Dr. Ramesh Kumari was sitting next to the Sardar Akhtar Mangal on the first bench. So this is the great change. And this kind of change doesn't, you don't give an expenditure to these changes, but it is a great message which Imran Khan has given. So I can see this new Pakistan also has become a true and new federal Pakistan. This is a new federation. So simplicity and austerity should be there.
And that's what I think he also said during his speech yesterday. He talked about the young people, he talked about accountability and that he would set things right. But I would wind up the show on this question, Mr. Kashkori. We were talking about opposition. Though we see opposition perhaps is divided at the moment. We don't see PMLN or People's Party perhaps on the same page. But what we can assume from yesterday's speech of Mr. Bilawal Bhutto and Mr. Shehbaz Sharif, that they won't be giving any easy time to Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. They would be giving some tough time to the government, perhaps.
Listen, Mr. Shamil, the important thing is 176 only. He required 172 number to become Prime Minister of this country. It's a very thin and tight line.
Right.
If PPP and PMLN comes closer, it's 150 number. And then the three coalition partners like Balochistan, Awami Party and MQM, that's why there has been a problem, and there would be problem for PTI to keep stronger, to keep closer with their chest to all coalition partners. And this parliament looking some pretty new faces, like important face.
Right.
Which came to parliament first time, Akhtar Mangal, like Mia Muhammad Somaro, like Fakhr Imam after 25 years. So even Akhtar Mangal in his maiden speech pointed out very, very, very tricky and very sensitive topic has been debating in international media about human rights violation in Balochistan. So there are challenges. Number is there, but Pakistan People's Party face a new dilemma, because it seemed that as Supreme Court of Pakistan indicated that it's Panama-like, second Panama-like investigation team to probe these fake accounts, almost 42 billion rupees.
Alleged fake accounts of Mr.
Case, and which is allegedly directly associated with Asif Ali Zardari and his
Priyal
friends.
Thakur, right. And his
So
sister
this
as
is
well.
that's why PPP seem to be on back foot on this very important issue, and this is a task for PTI, how to go with this accountability.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Mr. Kashkori, pleasure having you on the show. Mr. Shahwani, thank you for joining us. Pleasure having you on the show. Today, Prime Minister Imran Khan took oath today. He is the new 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan. There are a lot of challenges, but at the same time, there are a lot of hopes that people have with Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, with Prime Minister Imran Khan. And Pakistan is a resilient nation. We have been fighting extremism and terrorism successfully. What is needed is a sound economy, a strong economy, and institutions that are working for the people at the grassroots level. Institutional reforms so that the institutions can benefit people at the grassroots level. Thank you for watching today's program. See you next time. Khuda Hafiz.